Today, our session will be moderated by Kingsley Ufere. Give us a wave, Kingsley. Kingsley is a senior engineering manager in Microsoft's Azure cloud hardware business with a background in electrical engineering, business, and robotics. Prior to Microsoft, Kingsley worked as a program manager in safety systems and technology delivery for 10 years at Chevron. He's passionate about representation in engineering and technology, and he's going to give us a super amazing session today. Everyone go ahead and give him a round of applause. Up next on the roster, we have Mr. Chika, Nwobi, the founder of who is helping brilliant people like myself and yourself from underrepresented backgrounds launch careers as software engineers. He started in Nigeria, and Decathlon has combined financing, training, and placement to get hundreds of young Nigerians like ourselves to work as software engineers for companies like Indeed, Merck, and Interswitch. He is also an investor, a promoter of Edo Tech Park, a 20-hectare mini-city for up to 3,000 tech professionals to live, work, and play in Benin City, designed with 24 hours power and high-speed internet. Before Decathlon, Chika had 2 decades of experience building tech ventures, achieving multiple exits via either IPO or acquisition with companies like Jobberman, Checky, Oyat, and MTech. Let's go ahead and give Chika a round of applause. And up next on our roster, we have Dr. Idemudia. She is an enterprise solutions architect with over a decade of experience in building and designing enterprise-wide solutions. In the last 5 years, EC has been primarily focused on designing migration architectures for Fortune 500 companies across verticals to migrate their workloads from on-premises to Amazon Web Services Cloud, or AWS. Dr. EC has led and managed an incubator for startups to take their ideas from an idea to a product and to a market, leading about 10 startups through this process in her incubator called Founders Cafe. Dr. Idemudia is a published author of Out of Africa and Into the Cloud, where she inspires young women to overcome their fears and get into technology. EC has a strong passion for empowering the next generation of female coders, and she's the mother of 2 beautiful daughters, Ivana and Shalomi. Let's go ahead and give Dr. Idemudia a round of applause.
Hello everyone, my name is Nwobi, and I am co-leading as well. So let's get right back into it. Last but certainly not least, we have Jason Njoku. He's the founder and CEO CEO of Iroko TV, also the sponsor. Iroko TV is sponsoring UIU this entire convention. So, Njoku is the home of Nollywood content. He has pioneered the African digital content market by bringing Nollywood, Nigerian cinema, to a global audience, and in the process has raised over $40 million in investment for the international VCs, including Tiger Global, Kinetic, Rise Capital, and Canal Plus. Launched in 2010, Iroko has aggregated the world's largest online Nollywood content catalog and is one of Africa's largest internet TV providers, with a dedicated mobile app, Iroko TV, as well as Rock TV, channels on Sky in the UK, and DSTV across Africa. In 2013, Jason was crowned as the CNBC Africa West Africa Young Business Leader, and in 2014, he was recognized as one of Fast Company's top 1,000 most creative people in business. Jason, are you ready to join us today?
Jason?
And guys, stick around. We have some exciting news from the metaverse that we'll be bringing to you live at the end of the session. So we hope you enjoy. Take it away, Kingsley.
Thank you, Nina and Desiree, for the fantastic introductions. So I'll be excited for a good talk today about technology and the impact it has on our lives. Are we excited? You know we have the official 2022 partner here, so we have to sound excited. Are you excited?
Don't be excited, go and buy this.
But that's a very valid point. So I think when we close out this session, I will give some notes about the raffle that Iroko is running with respect to the subscription. But I think to kick things off, technology is pervasive in every aspect of our lives. Whether it's social media, Instagram, whether it's how it impacts African countries, even in our homes. And so today we are going to learn and grow from these tech leaders. So before I start asking questions, could you give a round of applause? And so to give some context around how we're going to drive this session. So who's familiar with fireside chats? So show of hands. Perfect. So it's going to be very conversational. We want to get the truth and nothing but the truth of that. But we also want to give the audience an opportunity to engage them in questions that really matter to you. So we may take this either through Uber or live questions. So Desiree and Nina, can we confirm if it's Uber or live questions? Or in-person questions? Okay. And these questions from the attendees can come in at any time. So please feel free. If something comes to mind, please ask. So for my first question, and this is going to go to all of them. What is it about technology? What is it about the innovation that really sparks interest, that drives next generation applications in our everyday world? What does technology mean to you? And I think we can start from Chika and Nwobi.
Yeah, thanks, Kingsley. For me, technology is mostly about the opportunity for people who haven't had opportunity to transform their lives in a very short time. You know, I went to college in Tennessee from 1960 to 2000, and I got exposed to the internet. That's when the internet became a thing. And I just thought this is crazy. Like, somebody who's father doesn't have money can sit down, learn how to write software, and solve a big problem in the world and become a billionaire. Like, this is crazy. So that's the power of technology. It's like, it is, you know, it really cuts out a lot of the barriers to people really being able to actualize their potential. problem solver in the world, if you're a problem solver, if you're a big vision, it used to be that to be great in the olden days, you have to go and conquer many nations, or you have to build a massive manufacturing factory or whatever. But now, because of technology, because of IT, you can see a big problem, have big vision, and then just really, really apply yourself and solve it. If you solve a big enough problem, you get very wealthy.
Technology drives solutions. Dr. Isi?
Yeah, to me, technology is a leveler. If you look at this stage right here, technology is what gives me the opportunity to sit with these three big men right here. So regardless of my gender, regardless of the color of my skin, regardless of where you're from, if you're an immigrant or non-immigrant, technology just levels the field for you. And that's why it's also, like you said, an enabler and an opportunity for everyone and anyone.
Thank you, Dr. Isi. Can we have a round of applause for her? And Dr. Isi were three small men in the presence of a mighty woman. Jason?
So, if you look at history, over the last 1,000 years, technology has driven human development. So, in driving human development, you are able to unlock huge amounts of value, huge amounts of wealth. If you look again historically at the most successful nations, they have been the most technologically advanced. They've been able to capture that value. They've been able to build massive, amazing societies. From the North America through to Europe, that's largely what propelled them to the global dominance that they have today. If we look at the last 30 years of China, they over-indexed in investing in technology. That is why today China's technology industry is by far one of the most, in fact, the only real competition for the US. So if you lead with technology, you ultimately end up unlocking wealth. I think the biggest challenge that obviously Chika and Dr. Isi are trying to address this is, over the last 30 years, the largest wealth creation that I think the capital market, especially in the US, has ever seen has come from tech. But black people are not there. Nigerians are not really there. So it's like trillions of dollars of wealth is being created, but we're almost not even part of that wealth creation. So again, we're being left behind. And I think that is something which, as we have these conversations, we try to evangelize, we try to speak to people. I'm looking at the audience, you guys are fantastic for being here, but there's a lot of people outside who like money, but don't want to really, take the time to look at how tech is able to unlock that. And just so I don't take up too much time, the first time me and Chika met, he's an investor from nowhere. He brought me out of the blue. I was in my apartment in Festac. I met the guy, flew in from New York, so they just came in to meet me. For me, my mind, that sounded like a bit of a scam. The next day, he said, "Here's $3 million. Let's do business." I was like, "Okay, this thing sounds like a scam. I need to check some references." This is 2010. It sounds like a scam. Then I sent me to Chika's office. Chika's office. I spent two hours. He was convincing me that this is how this works. It's not scam. They're wiring the money. They're not trying to take a liver. There's nothing comfortable. But I didn't know. If anyone has $3 million want to give me now, I'm ready to accept it. But this is 12 years ago. But again, I still see that happening today. I still see many people not fully appreciating the value that a young, again, check us doesn't look at age. You could be 19, you could be doing something interesting, people will give you $1 million, no problem. I can't think of anywhere else in life where someone will wake up and give you like $1 or $2 million and you're not taking coke across the border or something like that. It's real, it's legal, we should be much more part of that. Right now we are not. We need to step up or we're going to be left behind again.
So Jason, you make very good points, especially in how technology is an enabler. And so there is a pitch competition taking place later today. And I think for folks who have ideas that they want to turn into new businesses, new tech startups, I think that's a good opportunity to learn. But there's also that opportunity to learn from these amazing individuals in this room today. You may just get your $3 million back in 12 years ago is how much today?
More than 3 million.
Giving inflation, one of these folks may be investing in your future. But I want to pivot to something I think that very critical to success of technology, and that's equity and representation. So sometimes we hear buzzwords like women in tech, woman in tech, and I know Dr. EC, even just on this stage, it's clear that sometimes this is a problem. So how have you been able to navigate your career and facing multiple challenges as a black woman, as a woman in tech, to get to the point you are at now, which we could all clearly see is a good level of success?
I mean, that's a very interesting question, and I'm going to answer it in different ways. First of all, as a black woman, you already have this natural ability to be tough. I would like to implore the women in this room, bring that toughness to tech. We need it. And that alone, you don't have to be the smartest in the room. I'm not the smartest in the room. I hold a PhD in technology management, but it doesn't make me the smartest in the room. But I'm just a hustler. You see what I mean? I'm just a bloody hustler. Because I like money. And I like my own money. You see what I mean? So, when I moved to America 5 years ago, and even though I was already a doctor, but I was waiting tables. I cooked jollof rice in African restaurants just to feed my daughters. I did that for about 6 months. But within that 6 months, I was like, where is the money? Where's this money in this IT in this country? And then I realized when I hear the buzzwords cloud and cloud and cloud, you can make 6 figures in the cloud. And then I read it. I just glanced through, studied, got certified, went into AWS. And right now, AWS is the leader in cloud. So AWS, Azure, Google, sorry. AWS, Azure, and Google. You can get certified in any of these 3 fields. You don't have to go and get a degree for these fields. You know, you can go to eCloud, Google, online. I say that the internet is a gold mine because you can just literally go to YouTube. People want to brag about what they've done on YouTube, how they passed their AWS certification, how they landed this job. Go there, spend time, get certified, and then you can land a job, you can land your dream job. And then when I got the job, I was like, okay, that's the first step. But I didn't just want to be there. I wanted to be influential. That influence is now helping me bring other young girls. Like in the last 3 years, I've taught over 10,000 girls AWS how to code in my free time because I want to see more girls that look like me in technology because I believe that we have that hustling spirit and the driving force to actually make a great impact. They're talking about growing up in the ladder. I got in. Typically at Accenture, it takes you 3 years to get promoted. 1 promotion. I've gotten 3 promotions in 3 years. And this is a place where I didn't know anybody. You know how it is in America. It's not like you have to press somebody to call somebody. There's nothing like that. But I've just followed simple hustling spirit, going after the money, understanding the vision of the organization, keying into that vision, and being seen and being influential.
Thank you for that. So I know you talked about hustling, about that drive, that hunger for money, for success. And I don't think, there's people few and far between that are on this stage that I could look at that really exemplify that as Chika, a serial entrepreneur investor and now talent builder. So I remember that you started off what ultimately became the leading mobile content developer and producer, MTech, at just 22. once said that Chika is the code of this whole thing, this mobile internet thing. You left the US, went to Nigeria, at that young age. What was on your mind? What drove you to do that? That hustle mentality. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, no. So I talked about when I was in college and just discovering the internet and seeing just what it could do transformation, and I just thought we have to take this to Nigeria. I was just 22, but there's this idea that when things are new, it creates a lot of opportunity. Because when something is new, nobody in the world knows it. So at the time, internet was only on computers. There was no internet. You couldn't browse the internet on your mobile phone. So the technology just came out. The technology called WAP. And I was like, we can't have internet. We don't have phone lines in Nigeria. So if GSM comes, if mobile comes, then I can take this whole internet thing and make it available in Nigeria. So I went to work for 1 year in a startup that was in that space. And because the whole thing was new, within a year I was one of the technology people in the world because it was new. So people had only been learning for a year. If everybody said at the same time, and you have somewhere that you're going and you. And I'm not sure that equates to a 22-year-old boy that came to school on student visa, doesn't yet have a green card, working in a company that wants to file a green card for him, saying he's moving back to Nigeria to start a company. I think that part was just maybe a bit of maybe stupidity. Because I was trying to maybe if I was told that married, maybe I wouldn't have. But I think just for me the opportunity I believe. My father was an entrepreneur. Both my parents are entrepreneurs. We really have this, and I was able to say, not just talk about just the influence of parents. We've had this idea from being young that look, if you want to do something, just go make it happen. It's like no excuses. Like the resources will come. The idea that there's not enough money, or there's not enough, the capacity is there, so just go and make it happen. Care about it. So that's what drove me. And entrepreneurship, when you enter, you enter. So it wasn't so hard to enter because I believed I would blow. I thought I'm going to go to Nigeria and do this thing and it would work. So I entered, and then when I reached it, now saw me. So it was tough. But I think I'll stop there. Look, the thing back to the whole thing about technology, right, is really tech, and we talk technology and Netflix, right? My first partner was a company called MTN. MTN was a South African company. Very established in South Africa. Everybody there was mostly like white South Africans, but like the people that came to set this thing up in Nigeria. Why would they allow a 22-year-old boy? They did a deal with me that made me responsible for all the internet rollouts. So the first time somebody ever accessed email on a mobile phone in the history of Nigeria was me and 5 people I hired from Obafemi Awolowo University. There's no big story inside it. I can do the thing. They say, can you do it? I said, I can do it. And even if you can't do it, you still do it. So that's the power, and that's the thing about getting in there. The upside is huge, and the truth of it is that the downside is not that big, right? And that's the like, if you don't succeed, nobody's going to fuck you. Nobody's going to. People even think it's even sort of cool, right? Like respect you, second-time founder. So, but not to take too long. But now, I think subsequently, everything I've done since that, I'm really driven by the idea that in our lifetime, we're born in this lifetime as Nigerians, where it's like an opportunity that never existed. That the position or what we have, the part of value creation in the world that we have, we can change it in one generation. Because there's now, the blockers are not there, are not as much. And so that really drives me. Nigeria should have population adjusted for our population compared to Ukraine, Poland, India, all these countries. Nigeria should have 800,000 people working as software engineers, earning 30K each a year. That's $21 billion. That's the money that Nigeria makes from oil. But this time around, that money will be going to people's pockets. And in
there's no reason why it's not happening. We're English speaking, young people, so it's just entrepreneurial leadership, and that's what's driving me now. That's the hustle now. That, it's really doable. I almost feel like if I don't do it in the next decade, it's like it's my fault that people are suffering. Wow. Very impactful words by Chika. So still sticking to that topic, the subject around enablement, and now possible disruption of the entire ecosystems. Iroko TV has broken multiple digital ceilings in simply enabling the everyday user to watch mobile content, African movies on mobile devices, and competing with Western technology and Western platforms. So Jason, can you tell us a little bit more about what drove you as you went around disrupting an entire ecosystem that some could actually say may be on track to be a unicorn?
So, I don't really think of disruption. I think of money. I'm a very simple man. I don't want to be famous. I don't want to disrupt things. I don't want to be innovative. Just bring the money. If you bring the money first and leave everything else out, that's okay as well. I think for me, it's really simple. It's when I first landed, like Lagos the first time I was in Lagos as an adult was 2010, was when I went to go and start UIU. There was nothing new that I was doing. The only difference was that I came from the UK and I saw the destruction of the DVD market, and I saw that everything was moving to either pay TV or to the internet. So when I came and I started speaking to Hollywood producers, I was like, hey, over the next 5 years, this is what happened. And they didn't believe it. So that was the difference between the Nollywood, which was before, and the Nollywood, which is right now, right? They didn't believe in the future, they didn't believe in technology. They bet against technology and they lost. So going back then, there was 400, 500 different individual production houses, etc. Very vibrant, very active, very sort of like independent scene. And they were all selling to the open market. But they didn't realize that the distribution was just narrow. Pay TV, internet, that's the distribution. Everything else before that, it would just disappear. But if you looked at the US, it was happening already. If you looked at Europe, it was happening already. Everywhere in the world it was happening, but at that time they weren't really using the internet. They didn't really have that open-minded view. I think my only regret is that it was my own people, the Igbo traders, who I ultimately ended up having to, in order for me to win, they had to lose, unfortunately. But in the end, it's like every time I see someone betting against the future, I know just given time that they will lose. Doesn't matter who you are. If it's Microsoft, if it's Google, if you bet against the future, against a handful of